Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about the new Cricut Maker. First, let's take a tour of the machine itself. So this is the Cricut Maker, new machine from Cricut. So what a Cricut is a cutting machine, and you just open this one like this. A cutting machine cuts a variety of materials. So these started as something for scrapbookers to cut paper, but now they cut a wide range of materials, and we're going to talk about a few of those. But first, let's talk about the tool system itself. So you have two tools that you can add to the Maker. The first would be a cutting blade. So the machine comes with two blades. The first is just the fine point blade, great for vinyl, paper, that type of thing. But when you get into those thicker materials, and especially fabric, the bonus of the Maker is that it has this adaptive tool system with the gears that can handle this rotary blade. So this is just like a rotary cutter that you would use for sewing, but it is automatic. And it fits into the tool system, just like the regular Cricut blades that you might be used to. The Cricut also has a second side, and that's for pens, markers, that type of thing. This is just a Cricut pen, and you just put it in and then clamp it shut. So you have two different tools that you can add to the Cricut Maker at any time. You also have just a few features really quick. Storage tray at the bottom, storage trays on the side and pockets. There's a pocket up here that you can put your iPad in. There is a charger on this side for your iPad, iPhone, that type of thing. So now that we've seen the Cricut Maker inside and out, let's talk about materials. So perhaps you owned a Cricut Explorer before and you're wondering what the differences are between the Maker. So we're going to talk about what materials it'll cut. You did not lose any of the functionality of the Explorer. So the same features that were in the Explorer are in the Maker, and we'll talk about a few of those as well. But I just want to show you some cuts I did with the Maker when it arrived at my house, so you can kind of get a feel for how the cuts are on various materials. So we'll start with something that wasn't cut at all. So I talked about that the Maker has two slots, one for a blade and one for a pen. With that pen, you can actually draw. So I just drew this with the Maker with a pen. Just put it into the software, and so you can cut, draw any font you would like. And so if you don't have pretty handwriting, the Maker solves that. So then we'll move on. So this is printer paper. We'll move on to the print then cut feature. So I used cardstock in this case, and what I did was I printed an image, and what it does is it prints guidelines for itself, sees those guidelines, and then can cut around what you printed. So this was printed off my standard home printer at home on white cardstock, and then cut around the edges with the Cricut Maker. So now I have a cute gift tag, that type of thing, just in a few seconds. So let's move on to maybe cardstock, but more intricate patterns. So I had just some standard cardstock. This is 80-pound cardstock in a variety of colors. And so, you can of course cut simple shapes, simple tags, but what about more intricate things? How does the Maker do? So here is just the word happy in a circle. It's a pretty intricate cut, did wonderful. And here is kind of a doily shape, and again, great cuts. So then I wanted to go, let's try vinyl, right? So everyone loves their vinyl projects, their iron-on vinyl projects. Can I cut the same shapes with vinyl? So here is that same simple hexagon, perfect cuts every time. Here is a simple tag, again, perfect cuts. Be happy, and of course that doily. So absolutely no problems with the Maker on vinyl. So you can still cut all those materials that you used to cut. But I wanted to get a little thicker and keep pushing it to the edge, right? So the next material I tried was a corrugated cardboard. So these are corrugated cardboard sheets in 12 by 12. So a little thicker, a little harder to cut, but still really great cuts with the Maker. So I cut the same shapes, just to kind of compare what it would do on different materials. I actually cut these with my Explorer as well, and this was one material I was happier with the cuts from the Maker than I was with the Explorer, so just FYI. The next material I actually tried a faux leather. So they make faux leather sheets in 12 by 12, and you know, how much fun would leather projects be? So here is just the hexagon, again, really great cuts, the tag, and I actually kept all my scraps too, so I could look at those. And here is that happy. So this is a pretty intricate cut on something like faux leather, and it did an amazing job. And then that doily. So it looks great. Even the small holes look wonderful with the leather, faux leather, excuse me. So I was really happy with that. So the faux leather is thinner than regular leather, but we'll talk about leather in a minute because I think we can cut that as well. So next, I wanted to try a few materials that I had trouble cutting with my Explorer. So I've been using my Explorer for years, and there's just a few materials that I'm not happy with the cuts from the Explorer. One of those is cork. So I cut this cork piece with the Maker. The edges are amazing. I don't know if you've ever tried cork with your Explorer, but let me show you an example. So the edges come out ragged because as the blade drags through the cork, it pulls up all those little bits and pieces off of the cork. This, however, I cut using the rotary blade that you can only use with the Maker, and I got a perfect, absolutely perfect cut, and I was very impressed with the way it cut cork. This is actually a self-adhesive cork sheet, so it's pretty thin, but I expect that the Maker could cut any size cork up to the maximum amount that the machine could cut without problems. Next, I wanted to continue on and cut materials I've had trouble cutting with my Explorer. So the next material we're going to talk about is felt. I have cut felt with my Explorer several times. It is possible, 100% possible. So when you cut it with the Explorer machine, not the Maker, when you cut it with the Explorer, you need to use a material called heat and bond. So basically you bond this material using an iron to the back of your felt sheet. And then you put it bonded side down on your mat. And so the Cricut uses a mat when it cuts, if you don't know. And you just stick it to the mat to hold the material still. And then you can cut felt with the Explorer. So I was just going to give you an example. This is what I get when I cut felt with my Explorer. Number one, I can't even get this piece off of here because it didn't cut all the way. I usually have to use scissors to finish the cut. And it is frayed on the edges and has all these lovely strings and things coming off the side. I get that every time I cut felt, and I've tried a variety of settings with the Explorer. So I just picked felt on the Maker settings. You just pick all the material settings and design space on the Maker. So I just picked felt. Let's see what it'll do. This is with the rotary blade. 100% perfect cuts. Came right out of the felt sheet. Did not have to use my scissors to remove it. The second thing is, this is the cheap felt. This is the, 50 cents at Walmart felt. This is the felt that you use for your kids' craft projects, and it cuts amazing. So, what got me to thinking, if it can cut this hexagon, which is a fairly simple shape, what else could my Maker cut from felt? How intricate could I get? And I was cutting hexagons out of the paper, and I cut that intricate doily. Would the Maker cut that intricate doily from something like felt? Yes, it will. Like, this is amazing to me. Even the little bitty holes. I did not expect this to work. I completely expected it to fail and be able to tell you that you could not get intricate cuts. But with the Maker, you can 100% get those intricate cuts with felt as well as the standard straight line cuts. So, are you impressed yet? Because I have more. I moved on to fabric. Again, you can cut fabric with the machine that's currently out, which is the Explorer. And you have to bond it on the back, and you can get those straight cuts, and it just uses a fine tip blade to do that. However, and I did not mention that on the felt, with the felt, with the Maker, you don't have to put the bonding material on the back. So it saves you money and time. Same with fabric. Save money and time. Do not put anything on the back. You just stick it. It comes actually with a fabric mat that's pink. It's specifically for fabric. You just put the fabric directly on the mat and you can get those straight line cuts. Now, when I cut just a hexagon with the Explorer with the bonded on the back and the Maker without the bonded, the cuts are pretty much the same, right? So they look the same. They both come out fine. So I wanted to go a little bit more intricate because I've always had trouble with the Explorer itself and intricate cuts. So I put an elephant shape into Design Space and tried to cut it with the bonded fabric on my Explorer. And I can't even get it out. I guess I could have cut it out with scissors, but some of the cuts didn't even cut. Like it's not good at all. So what happened when I took plain fabric, put it on my fabric mat, and tried to cut the elephant from the Maker? He is perfect. His little legs are perfect. His trunk is perfect. You do have strings hanging because this is cotton fabric. This is not some kind of fabric that would be a no-sew project, but I just wanted to do this as a test cut. So for intricate cuts on fabric, definitely the Maker is for you. If you want to cut fabric that is not bonded, the Maker is the way to do that with the rotary blade. If you want to do just plain cuts and you don't mind the bonding on the back of the fabric, the Explorer will do the job. So straight cuts, non-intricate, bonding on the back, Explorer would do that. If you want to do just plain fabric, no bonding on the back, really intricate cuts like elephant legs, the Maker is the machine. So I kept going with the fabric and I cut, let's see, I've got 4 different fabrics here. So I went from kind of like delicate to really brutal, and I cut somewhere in between the elephant and the hexagon. So when you're cutting intricate shapes with the Maker, it does take a while. I just wanted to kind of speed the process up. So I cut a leaf kind of shape. So I started with delicate, and this is a lace fabric. Again, no bonding material, just stuck it to the fabric mat, cut this pretty leaf shape, did perfectly. And then I moved on to fleece. Like, I love my no-sew projects. I love my felt projects and fleece projects, and this is perfect for that. Like, I stuck it right to the mat, and it came out perfectly. And then I thought about, let's think outside of the box. Let's think of fabrics that are upcycled. So I took an old sweater, cut a piece out of it, and cut a leaf on the Maker. And it worked perfectly. Like, the leaf shape is perfect. I'm really excited about the possibilities for upcycling. So I kept going and I thought, what's the material that you upcycle and it's just really hard to cut, really hard to sew? And the answer is denim, right? It's blue jeans. So I took an old pair of blue jeans and I cut it on the Maker. Just straight up cut a piece off the leg, put it right on my fabric mat and cut that leaf right out. So I think, I stopped my experimentation there, but seriously, I think you can find so many fabrics and so many materials that you're going to be able to cut on the Maker, and you're just going to be overwhelmed with it all. So that's not all. That is not even everything. The Maker is also going to take a knife blade, and I'm going to show you a picture of the knife blade. So the knife blade will be out in actually October of this year, so I don't have one, and I don't have one to play with. So I can't give you first-hand experience at all with the knife blade, but they have some really cool projects on their website that you can cut with it. The knife blade is going to be like for the real leather, for wood projects, balsa wood, basswood. I mean, the possibilities are endless, right? And I was going to show you, this is one of my favorite projects that they've shared with the wood. They got a little puzzle with wood that you can cut out yourself at home. Like, I mean, how great is that? So look for the knife blade soon. Be sure to stay tuned to the YouTube channel because I will put up my knife blade experience once I get that in my hands. But for right now, if you want to purchase the Maker, if you're thinking about purchasing the Maker, I hope this video helps you. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube and don't miss when I get that knife blade in my hand and do my comparison with that. I think you will be blown away by the possibilities that the Maker gives you. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, any questions or comments, please leave them below. I will get to them as soon as I can. And if you want to see some other material cut with the Maker or have a question about another material that maybe I didn't even think about, leave those as well. So thank you all for joining me. Bye.